How did the 9/11 attacks actually begin? Most people think it started on that morning. But what if it started much earlier? Today, we're going to uncover the small details that most people never notice. Because sometimes, the biggest tragedies don't begin with explosions. They begin with things no one pays attention to. Before we go to that morning, there are a few strange things you need to see.
Did you know there's a Simpsons episode that was pulled after 9/11? It's called The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, and it kicked off season 9 back in 1997. In the episode, Lisa finds a letter from New York saying Homer's car has been left there.
Dad, you got a letter from the city of New York.
Throw it away.
Your vehicle is illegally parked borough of Manhattan.
So the family takes a trip to Manhattan, and Homer ends up stuck at the base of the World Trade Center.
This thing. Here from 9 to 5? That's how many hours?
There's even a quick scene where two men argue from opposite towers.
I got something up here you can bite on!
And why don't you be polite, you stinking puss bag? They stick all the jerks in Tower 1.
I'm coming over there!
Yeah, you want to...
Just another New York moment in the show's usual style.
Shut up, the both of you!
After the 2001 attacks, the episode was removed from TV broadcasts. For years, it wasn't included on certain DVDs and didn't appear on streaming platforms. Eventually, it was added back to services like Disney+, with the original scenes left untouched.
In a 1997 episode of The Simpsons, a scene shows New York with a large 9 next to the Twin Towers. When combined, it looks like 9/11. At the time, no one noticed. But years later, people started asking questions. Then there's something even stranger.
Find anything?
The luggage hole's clear if this thing can be trusted. What'd you do, make it with your Erector set?
You're absolutely sure that this is the targeted flight?
This flight was chosen primarily for its visibility. It's scheduled to pass over Manhattan on its way to Boston.
You said they intend to bring this down in the middle of New York City? What if there is no bomb?
What do you mean, no Bob?
Langley, I need you to hack into the aircraft's onboard navigation system. We need to know where we're headed.
Okay, go into headsets. I'll clone the Airphone's carrier. Make them think we're sending a ground air fax.
That's one twisted Star 69.
I'll just get ready to ride the wave, hippie boy.
Just get me on that plane and I'll get you autopilot access.
How are you gonna do that?
Airline telemetry systems use processors similar to those found in CB radios.
I'm in. We got ourselves a convoy.
What's your progress?
I've hacked into the flight control system output.
I'm mapping the data now.
Byers, your flight's gonna make an unscheduled stop in exactly 22 minutes.
The corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
I'll tell the flight crew.
Langley, can you override the flight control system?
I'm working on it.
What is this?
My name is Bert Byers. I work for the government. I believe this plane has been commandeered.
Sir, passengers are not allowed in the cockpit. I need you to return to your seat now.
You don't have control of this plane, and I don't know if we can get it back. Turn off your autopilot. There may be a chance that we can override it.
Sir, I'll be happy to contact your superiors in the government to confirm. Sir, damn it!
He's right.
All right, try cutting electrical power.
They've thought of that. They've thought of everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're experiencing some technical difficulties up here. At this time, we'd like you all to return to your seats.
kiss your asses goodbye.
Finally, we're getting close.
I know.
Damn it! New York Center, this is Atlantic National Flight 265 Heavy. We are declaring an emergency. We have 110 souls on board, 16,000 pounds of fuel, and no dangerous goods or cargo to report.
Come on, Bro Hickey. Fronts have failed, haven't they? There's still hope. Hope my next turnout's as nice as my last one.
We've got manual override.
In a TV show released just months before the attacks, a storyline showed a hijacked plane being used as a weapon. And then, the $20 bill. When folded in a specific way, some people say it looks like burning towers. Of course, none of this is official proof. But it raises a question. Were there signs that we didn't understand? Now let's move away from theories and look at what actually happened. Because the real story is even more disturbing. In the late 1990s, 19 men quietly entered the United States. They looked completely normal, but behind that normal appearance, they were preparing something deadly. Some of them joined flight schools. And here's the detail most people ignore. They didn't want to learn how to land. They only wanted to control the plane in the air. One instructor later said, they didn't care about landing at all. At that moment, it seemed strange, but not dangerous. By 2001, everything was ready. Targets were chosen, timing was set, and all they needed was a normal morning. And that morning was September 11, 2001. What happened next changed the world forever. September 11, 2001. It was a clear, calm morning. Nothing felt unusual. At 7:59 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 took off from Boston. On board were 92 people. At 8:14 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 took off. 65 people on board. At nearly the same time, 2 more planes were already in the air. Flight 77 with 64 people. Flight 93 with 44 people. In total, 246 people. And among them, 19 hijackers. At 8:14 a.m., something changed. Flight 11 stopped responding. The cockpit was taken over. Passengers had no idea what was happening. Within minutes, a normal flight became a weapon. At 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower. Inside the building, around 17,000 people were already at work. The impact killed hundreds instantly. Fire spread across multiple floors. But on the ground, people were confused. Was it an accident? A mechanical failure? For 17 minutes, no one knew the truth. Then, at 9:03 a.m., Flight 175 hit the South Tower. Now everything changed. This was not an accident. This was an attack. Panic spread instantly. Sirens filled the streets. Firefighters rushed inside the towers. Not knowing They were running into danger. Inside the buildings, people were trapped above the impact zones. Some called their families. Some tried to find a way down. Some had no way out. At 9:37 a.m., Flight 77 hit the Pentagon. 125 people inside were killed. Now the entire country was under attack. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapsed. In just seconds, the massive building turned into dust. A huge cloud covered the streets. People ran for their lives. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower collapsed. Both towers gone. At the same time, Flight 93 passengers made a decision. They fought back. At 10:03 a.m., the plane crashed in Pennsylvania. It never reached its target. In just under 2 hours, everything was over. Nearly 3,000 people were killed. 246 on the planes. Over 2,600 in New York. 125 at the Pentagon. And thousands more were injured. What started as a normal morning became one of the darkest days in history. But even after all this, the story wasn't over. Because what happened next would change the world forever. After the attacks, the world was in shock. Airspace across the United States was shut down. For the first time in history, the skies were completely empty. Rescue operations began immediately. Firefighters, police, and volunteers all rushed to Ground Zero. They searched through rubble, hoping to find survivors. But as hours turned into days, hope slowly disappeared. Then came another danger. The dust. The air was filled with toxic particles. Thousands of rescuers inhaled it. Years later, many of them became sick. Some of them died. But while rescue efforts continued, another mission had already begun. Finding who was responsible, investigators quickly identified the group behind the attacks. Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. The investigation revealed how carefully everything had been planned. The hijackers had lived quietly for months, even years. They trained, they waited, and then they acted. According to official reports, the attackers believed they were responding to political and military actions involving the United States in the Middle East. They opposed the presence of U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia and strongly disagreed with U.S. foreign policy. Their goal was to strike major symbols of American power and create fear on a global scale. In response, the United States launched a global war on terror. Security changed forever. Airports became stricter. Surveillance increased. Years later, in 2011, Osama bin Laden was located in Pakistan. He was killed in a military operation. For many, this brought a sense of justice. But even after that, questions remained. Were there warning signs before the attacks? Some reports suggest there were. Unusual training activities, suspicious individuals. But those signals were never fully connected. And then there are the strange details people still talk about. The cartoon scene. The folded $20 bill. The movie scenes. Are they just coincidences? Or something more? There is no official evidence that these were predictions. But they leave us with a question. If the signs were there, why didn't we understand them? And the most important question of all, if something like this were to happen again, would we see the warning signs this time? Because sometimes history doesn't repeat itself loudly. It starts quietly, just like that morning.